All right. So, howdy, everybody. We don't have Scott yet. So, still waiting on our guest. And while we do that, I do have a few. Wow, a lot of people using otter.ai. I do have a few housekeeping items, things that I think will be helpful. So, last week we had Burton Alacondo. Give me a like on the live stream in the group if that was helpful. I have used PropStream 3 times this week to build circle prospecting lists for a one around a listing appointment I have to see if I can get some more listing appointments and utilize my time well. One for a property that we just had go pending, and one that we have coming soon. So one of my favorite uses of PropStream is building targeted circle prospecting lists, because you can also layer on things like, two-story home, they've owned it for 20 years, and they have 50% equity or more. So if you missed last week, go check that one out. We put all of the recordings are at in our group, Wake Up Real Estate, and we add them all at wakeup.realestate as well. You know what? Just bear with me, everybody. I'm going to make sure that Scott, I think he's got the link, but I don't see him yet. So I'm going to just email him while I keep working through a couple of other, a couple more of the housekeeping items. So Mike has been using a text script that has been killing it for the last a week and a half or 2 weeks. Mike, if you can drop the link to that script in the chat, in the Zoom room, and also maybe as a comment on the live stream as well, that would be super helpful. It is working like gangbusters right now, and I also think it's really timely. Like, using it this time of year is a great way to spark some activity during what is, at least in most markets, where things slow down a little bit. So I would definitely check that out and find ways to use that as well. And then one other housekeeping item. Next week, I am going to share the strategy that we've been using on Facebook Marketplace to generate free leads, and some tweaks that I've made recently that have gotten me multiple inbound phone calls from people looking at my Facebook Marketplace listings in the last 48 hours. I've had 3 people call me from my Marketplace listings in the last 48 hours, just from a little tweak that I made. And this strategy is 100% free. So I'm going to dig into that next week and share how we're doing that. All right. So still waiting on Scott with listings to leads. I did just send him that. Mike, can you keep an eye on that as well to see? I don't think I have his cell phone number. Well, here's a good question while we wait. Who is using either in the group or in the Zoom room? Who is currently using listings to leads? Let me know. I've been saying probably for 2 years that listings to leads, to me, is one of the best values that exists for us as real estate agents, as far as what you get for the cost. I would say I probably am only scratching the surface on using all of the benefits of listings to leads. I used it this morning to create a coming soon listing in there for a property that's going live tomorrow morning. So I use that for that. We use it to as a shortcut to creating Facebook lead ads. It's great with that. And also some foreshadowing. I use it as part of my Facebook marketplace strategy because it gets us more leads. It helps us grow our database through that process. So Vivian, hold on. I got some people asking where they log in. It is something that I've been using for years. You can, if you want to check it out, they do offer a free trial. And my affiliate link, full transparency, my affiliate link for that is growwithjosh.com/L, the number 2L. Growwithjosh.com/L, the number 2L. And so while we're waiting for Scott, actually, let me see if I have his cell phone. While we're waiting for him, I think what I am going to do is share the script that's been working well, and then I'll even just log into my listings to lead account as well. Mike, can you try and find contact for Scott? I think I only have his email, and we were chatting last week, and I don't know if he got the date wrong or what might have happened there. Let's see here. In the meantime, let's try and make the best use of our time here. So I am going to share the script that's been working well. Now, this is a script that we have a whole bunch of variations for, and it's our quick chat script. So morning, Shay, would you be open and available for a quick chat about, and then you can use any number of these. Now, the one that is crushing it right now for us is the one that is bolded and highlighted at the bottom. So morning, Shay, if we could show you how to buy a home with zero money down, would you be available for a quick chat sometime this week? How do we do that? We have four options for that. Okay. And just so you know, like, not only are we getting appointments, but these are people that are motivated, they're interested, and we do have multiple options for them. We have FHA plus DPA. So we've got some great down payment assistance programs. If they qualify for FHA with 3.5% down, we have DPA that'll cover the 3.5%. We even have two great DPA options that will give them up to 5%, so they can get the 3.5% plus some of their costs covered as well. That's number one. Number two is obviously VA, right? Not everybody qualifies for VA, but when you're having conversations with people, in particular, if you use this script and you get some interested people, you should ask that question, right? Because some people don't realize that is one of their benefits of being somebody who is either active duty or retired military. So that's number two. Number three, USDA. Now the property has to qualify in that scenario. Okay. And there's you can Google USDA eligibility map and find out, get that information there for if a property qualifies, you just pop in the address. But that's a great option. And then the fourth one, we actually have a conventional zero down option, conventional mortgage zero down option available right now as well. So you can use any variations of these scripts. This script works great, and you get people replying who are open to a quick chat. Notice it's not a phone consultation. It's not, it's not a Zoom meeting or whatever. We're just calling it a quick chat. Now that quick chat could be on the phone. It could be on Zoom or whatever, but like the quick chat feels like a low barrier to entry, right? It's like a low level of commitment, right? They're not making some big, you're not asking them for a big commitment, right? Because that can scare some people off. Okay. So that's the script that's been working extraordinarily well right now. And while we are hopefully waiting for Scott to hop on, I'm going to log into my listings to lead account just to show you some of the the ways that we typically use the listings to leads platform. And in particular, I'll show you the coming soon listing that I popped in here this morning. Now you can set it up so that it'll auto pull in your listings once they go live, but it won't do it when it's in the coming soon phase, right? So if you want to use the platform during that coming soon window, you have to manually input it. And then tomorrow morning, when this goes live, it'll automatically pull in the full MLS listing. But this is the listing that I added in this morning here, and you can see there's all of these different ways that you can market it. There's all, I mean, again, we barely scratch the surface of everything that you can do with the platform. Which, you know, if you just hopped on, again, my affiliate link to get a free trial is growwithjosh.com/L2L. The PDF guides are phenomenal as well. And there are, I don't even know how many different ones there are at this point, but you're able to brand them to yourself. And there are a whole bunch of buyer guides, a whole bunch of seller guides. And these guides are a great way to provide value, valuable information. And also is when someone's interested in something like this, some of the information in these, it's indication that they're probably a little bit more motivated than just a typical, you know, someone that clicked on a listing because they wanted to check out the pictures or wanted the price. So there's a whole bunch in here, and you can see that when you create your free account, you add in some of your branding information. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to look at, well, I'll just download one. So I'll download the English version here. First time home buyer's guide. And let's see here. Where'd it go? There it is. So you can see that it is branded to me. And you can choose the color scheme, and then all of your contact information is populated here. So it's a great value add. You can launch, as I mentioned, you can launch Facebook ads with it. You can launch Google ads with it. They have a Google ad platform. They have different landing pages. You can set it up so that it will auto post to your social channels. And I mean, just a whole bunch more, cool things that you can do with the platform. Now, one of the things that, one of the reasons why I was excited to have Scott on, and it looks at this point, I'm just going to assume that we're going to have to assume that something happened with Scott, and I'm going to have to get him rescheduled. But one of the reasons why I wanted to have him on is to use a strategy to use with expired listings and FSBO, and even just as part of your listing presentation. So let's say you've got you've got a for sale by owner, or you've got an expired listing who has at least shown interest in in potentially working with you. Under the listings tab here, I don't know why it's not loading for me. There we go. Over the listings tab, you can see that there's a listing presentation option, and you can even manually input it and choose listing presentation as the reason for inputting, and it will populate a full PDF specific to their property that you can use as part of your your conversation with them, whether in person or on Zoom, with the the potential listing opportunity. And so that was one of the main things that I wanted to have him on for. And the other big thing is they're working on more resources for buyer representation, right? To make it more compelling argument for the value that you provide on the buyer agent side of things. And Carrie says that she loves the expired and FSBO marketing. So with that said, let's maybe pivot to what we would normally do on these sessions, which is more of an open mastermind, where if you've got a win to share, something that's working for you, something that you need help with, have a question about, anything along those lines, I would love to open it up here, since unfortunately it looks like Scott won't be able to join us. Shay says, I love PropStream. They save me so much time. Hey, Carrie, we'll go to you, and then Shay, I want to pop to you, and maybe you can share the way the strategies, how you use PropStream to save yourself time and get yourself more opportunities. Carrie, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say real quick, since Scott rolled out the new FSBO and expired marketing guide for them, I did it last week with an expired, and we went live yesterday. So I got them listed right away from it.
So can you unpack that a little bit more? So what were the steps, right? Because you know, it's expired to now they're working with you. Maybe fill in some of those blanks for those that are curious how that came about.
Yep. So I target FSBOs and expireds. I go after them daily. So since Scott rolled that out, I was like, oh, this is fantastic. So what I did was I pulled up the expired and popped their picture in it, because when this marketing populates, it puts their picture in it. So it gives them more of that psychological feel like, oh, this is my house and this is what these ads are going to look like. And it shows them their house there. So that was very helpful. And so I made the call. That's what I do. My first step is making the call, just wondering, if your house came off the market, saw that it did, all the fun stuff that you talked to them about. Well, can you tell me a little bit why you think it didn't sell? What'd you feel through the process? How did it make you feel? What did you think could have been done better? All of the fun stuff. And I'm like, all right, so obviously they still want to sell. So I tell them I would love to come out, meet you in your house, and I can show you a way how I get properties sold in less, we go under contract in less than 10 days. Really? Yes. What's a good day and time for you? Thursday afternoon, Friday evening, what works best? So I email them that PDF so they can look all that over. When I get there, I'll go through it again, and they love it. They're like, wow, you do all of this? I'm like, I know it's a lot, but I love what I do. So, I want to take care of all of my clients. And usually they're very happy. Before I didn't get to use that because obviously we didn't have that. But now since we do, like the one I just listed, he loved it. He was so impressed. He's like, all right, where do I sign? He's like, can you send it to my wife to sign? I'm like, yeah, we can e-sign. If she can't make it here, that's totally fine. So she e-signed, got the pictures done. We went live yesterday, have 3 showings on it today.
So do you don't create the PDF until you've connected with them, or you use that as part of your strategy to connect with them?
Both. If I don't connect with them, I will shoot them a text and an email. If I have both of that, if I just have one, I'll do it that way as well. And when I don't talk to them, I'm just like, hey, just want to shoot you this quick screenshot of how I get properties sold, or how I get properties under contract in less than 10 days. Here's a little, I say, look over, the guide, let me know what questions you have. And then I'll follow up with a phone call until I get hold of them.
Love it. Love it. And it's as easy as literally popping in their address and a picture of their property. And
yeah, I have a guide done if you want me to pull it up.
Yeah, go ahead. Here, I will.
Can you guys share that PDF?
So it's formulated for each property.
From PropStream?
No,
we're talking about listings to lead. Then I'm sorry, we're bouncing around. Shay's going to share how he's using PropStream, but Carrie's talking about the one of the PDF guides that you can create with listings to leads, and the strategy specific to expired or for sale by owners.
Where's my listings to leads at on here? I need that to go away. So let me move this up here. It takes it a minute to load while we're on Zoom.
By the way, so the pricing on listings to leads is a free trial, and the pricing is based upon how many listings you have in there at any given time, right? And so the more that you want to be able to have in there, the higher the price. And you can upgrade and downgrade as necessary, or as you see fit. So you notice she has chosen as status expired. You just upload the image and the address, and this is like that is custom to their house.
Yep. So this is this actual expired's house. And you can put their name in here and everything if you want. Oh,
Yep.
it went really fast. And this is how awesome this looks. And as you can see, I went in, everything is branded to my brand colors. So every time they see pink, they're gonna be like, oh, here she goes again. But they're gonna know that it's me. And so it's their house, and it talks about all the ways that we market. They get to see, like on YouTube, the Facebook ads, all the mail in this homeowner letter. Amazing. I use this in so many different ways.
How many?
Again,
I can't. So that it's 24 pages.
yeah.
I think.
And it's a lot of pages, but it shows them like, wow, you do a lot. And you can even have them scan the QR code. It'll go to their property website. You can let them know, hey, your property is going to have its own website. What other agent does that for you? Did your last agent give you your own property website? No, they didn't? Wow, shocking. You know, your coming soon, you can talk about how you can market that when it's just listed, active all the way to the open house. Their open house itself is really awesome. Pending, and then, you know, the end of the presentation. And it even shows them too, like a weekly traffic. Like, hey, this is, you know, the number of posts, the ads, the reach, the impressions, the leads. They're really impressed with that. And all these guides show up too, like, hey, scan that if you have anyone looking, you know, if you're wondering the 5 dangers of overpricing, scan it, tell you a little about it. So that's what this looks like. It's super, super cool.
Well, that was one of the main reasons why I was going to have Scott on is to show us that and how other users are leveraging that to get themselves more listings.
Yes.
And I'll see if we can get him back on at some point. Carrie,
yeah, and you can do this with the FSBOs too.
Right.
I send this out to the FSBOs as well, and they're still strong mindset, like, no, I don't need you. I got this. Awesome. Just in case, maybe grab some of these ideas and, you know, try doing it yourself. Get you some more people calling other than us agents calling you.
Right on.
Yeah.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
Hey, are you stacking this with any of the iList and any of the other strategies, or is this just on its own?
How do you mean?
So, you know, the iList platform, Smarties deal. How does this tie into all that?
Well, so one of the reasons why I was going to have Scott on, I'm not using it currently. I wasn't using that piece. And so I am intending to layer that on. And I was, you know, I try to have people on that also are either sharing what I'm using that is working for me or others in the group, or things that I, you know, am interested in scratching my own itch. So I haven't implemented that yet, but I think the way we'll do that is strategically for the expireds that we really want, you know, like a hit list of the ones that, you know, because not every expired that is populated in, you know, are really ones that I maybe want. So I think part of my daily or our daily routine is going to be looking at the new expireds and which of these are we going to do that. And one of the reasons why I was curious about the number of pages, which I do remember Scott saying, is, you know, I was thinking, do I actually want to direct mail, you know, send that as well? So more to come on that as we implement it. But currently, I don't have that implemented with the Smarty platform and you know, the expired and FSBO data that we're bringing in. And Isabel asks, are you reaching out to recent expireds? So it sounds like Carrie is doing it on a daily basis, right? Looking at the expireds each day and doing the, you know, implementing that with the recent. And I heard this is like a simple thing, but a script that we are testing for expireds is just simply, it looks like your property at blank address came off the market recently. Did you end up selling it privately, or is it still available? Right. So just like getting them, you know, most likely it didn't sell privately. Let's be honest, but like it gives them, you know, hope. Oh, did you sell it privately? So that I literally just started using that this week because I heard it on a podcast on Monday or something like that. And the listing, that coming soon listing that I had there, that's an expired. It's an older expired. It's an older expired. I think it expired last year. But
Hey,
all right,
question.
let's go ahead, Fernando.
Sorry. So listing to leads pulls in the expired data, or you gotta upload
No,
it?
you have to manually create them.
Got it. Okay.
Yep, you have to
Thanks.
manually create that because you need the picture, the address, and if you want to populate their name in there, which I think is powerful, right? We like seeing our own name on stuff. Well, you know what? Here, before we pivot to Shay, I'm going to create one. So I'm going to choose expired. And Mike, hopefully you don't have to you won't have to blur out too much of this. Let's see here. Kenneth Redding. And Carrie, I'm assuming you're just grabbing, because you're not using the image publicly. I'm assuming you're just grabbing the image from the expired MLS listing.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're not using it publicly.
Right. And I'm not trying to run ads on it or anything like that. It's going directly to that homeowner, and that's it.
Yep. Okay. So this says sale pending. I wonder if it was pending and then when expired. But regardless, just for demonstration purpose. And by the way, I mean, how horrible is this image? Give me a break. I don't even want to use this. It's actually going to make it look bad.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean that is an awful image. So actually, let me find one that's a little bit better. Let's see here. Oh, that's why, because I have Kenneth. Should have better planned here, but I thought Scott was going to be leading the charge. I'm hoping Scott's okay. Okay, let's see here. 60 Harvest Drive. Headers, Adam Weitzel. Okay, so this one's a little bit better. So save image. Where it's back here. So Adam Weitzel. Doesn't look like we have an email form, but we do have a phone number. One 60 Harvest Drive. Okay. 319. Do you add anything else?
No, I don't.
Carrie? So you just put name and the address at this level. Okay, save and add photos. It takes a little bit to load because it's also creating a bunch of the additional links and marketing collateral that populates with every listing that you input. I probably also have too many tabs open, which isn't helping. Upload image. There it is. don't think it normally takes this long. It's probably because we're zooming and I have too many things open. So I'll save that. And then skip. Skip that. Save and start marketing. And then
at the top, download.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Download listing presentation.
Which takes a little minute too.
Yeah. Because it's creating it custom for that. And I believe, I mean, part of the power in this is that image isn't just showing up on that front page. It's like even the examples of each of the marketing pieces, they're the image of their property. And, you know, when you do that, it's so one of the reasons why the thanks.io postcards work so well that we've been using for just listed, pending, and just sold, or even one of the cards that Ryan was talking about a couple of weeks ago, is when you put their property on a postcard, like, it's compelling, right? We like to hear our name. We like to see stuff that is relevant to us, and it creates curiosity. It's a pattern interrupt for folks when you do that kind of stuff.
Carrie, Josh, could I ask Carrie a question? So
yeah.
What's the minimum monthly for the minimum number of listings? What does it start at?
10.
Okay, and what's the monthly fee for 10?
60.
$60?
Mm-hmm.
That's cheap. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and too, if you have more than that, after you download that PDF guide, you can delete it and add another one, and you'll still have that guide for that house.
Okay.
See, I think the 10 is less than that. Yeah, 0 to 10 is 40, 11 to 20 is 60, 21 to 50 is 85, 51 to 100 is 125.
And so with all that, you get all the access to
you get everything at any of the plans. The only thing that changes is the number of listings that you can put in what we're showing here, which obviously, like, if you're, you know,
if you were doing a list of expires or for sale by owners and you created the document and you sent it out, could you delete that and then
that's what I was just thinking, like how would you get around that? Yeah. And also it looks like I screwed up and left an image in here that shouldn't have been left in there. I should see
dang, $40 a month for 10 of those, then you cheat and you just get one.
Yeah,
that must be your code discount or something, because I'm logging back in because I was a previous member and it's only saying 60 for me.
Well, maybe I'm grandfathered in.
I think you are.
Yeah, sorry,
but even so, it's still cheap.
Yeah, it's still Well, while that's populating, we'll pivot slightly, and I say pivot slightly because this conversation it's all relevant and related, right? Shay, you had mentioned, you know, how much you like PropStream and how much time it saves you. Can you share some of your best practices? Because Burton last week was great, but he was speaking sort of, you know, big picture globally. Here's how to do filters. Here's some strategies, etc. I'm sure everybody would love to hear, like, you know, real world applications from someone. If you don't know Shay is a killer in Utah. He is a, you know, super high producing agent in Utah. So Shay, how are you using PropStream?
Man, I love those intros, man. I hope I can try and live up to it, but we'll try.
Absolutely.
I use PropStream almost daily, and I use it in a whole bunch of different ways. And you'd actually talked about it. I wasn't able to make the call, but I listened to the recording for last week about the trial, and that's where I started, is finding the tired landlords. Because we were on it and went over that, and I got the trial, and I ended up, you know, locking down 3 commissions with that 14-day trial. And I mean, it paid for itself. I mean, I'm sure it still has paid for itself multiple times over with those 3 transactions. But tired landlords, I hit all the time in different areas. to this day. And the thing about that is tired landlords are fantastic because more than likely they own more than one property. And the fact that they're in it for dollars and cents, they don't have an emotional attachment. Does this make me money? Is it worth, the maintenance costs and everything? Do I need to, put in, sell that property and get something newer? Like for me personally, and what I coach my investor clients is, once a property hits 15 years old, you should start thinking about changing it. Once it's 20 years old, at least in Utah, because I mean, like on the East Coast, there's a whole lot of 150-year-old they're not dilapidated. They're just, for me, that is ridiculously old. And the maintenance cost is something that I don't want. So I tell them, I'm like, once your maintenance costs start, equaling this, we should, think about selling it, do a 1031 exchange, get another property, have something that, is further away from having those maintenance issues. So tired landlords is a big one. Another one that you were talking about, at the beginning of this call was you were talking about VA, right? You were using a different program, but I use PropStream to find VA homeowners because they have a very distinct advantage in the market. You can put up a house, and if someone is available to take over that their VA loan, they can be getting a loan at, let's call it 2.6% interest. That by itself separates them from all the other, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, blah, 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 blah. And telling them that this can be marketed as a true, asset and set them apart and get their home sold faster, not necessarily for a higher price because it still has to appraise and everything. But if someone loves that house, they're off the market faster moving forward. There's a huge benefit to that. And I, am able to help a lot of VA homeowners. And one thing about vets is vets talk all the time. They talk to their other veteran buddies and they're like, Shay, I heard you did this. It's like, well, yeah, let's do that again. So tired landlords, VA, circle prospecting, right? Just listed, just sold. Always. I pull 200 or so of the closest neighbors and start marketing them for the just listed, the open houses, start sending them the market updates and, slowly incorporating them into my, geo farm lists. Different people in the area, I will look for, like, if I have, wow, let me gather my thoughts. If I have a buyer,
well, here, hold on. While you gather your thoughts, a couple of things I want to do, and then what I'm going to do. So a little bit all over there. Scott is very sick. He did reply. He is very apologetic. We will definitely get him on. So at least we know that Scott, he's alive, but just not doing well. So we'll have him on. Tired landlords. One of the things you mentioned is that many of them own multiple properties. You can actually filter by that too, right? So you could strategically filter by only tired landlords that have at least 2 properties or 5 properties, whatever. And again, in a minute here, I'll log into my PropStream and I'll show you some of the different ways. So we've got tired landlords as one, VA prospects as another one, and then circle prospecting. Now, when you say market to these folks, what are you specifically doing? And I'm sure it varies depending on the target audience, but like when you say market to them, what does that look like for you?
Well, you know that I am an absolute fan of HomeBot. Okay. All these people go in HomeBot right off the get, as long as they're not on the DNC or something, they go in HomeBot and I put it in, I double check to make sure because sometimes HomeBot, daydreams a little bit and goes off. So I go through and double check. And as a matter of fact, I use PropStream a lot to double check and make sure that the valuation is pretty close and hasn't gone off. And I send them HomeBot. And then I have a follow-up campaign that I follow up 2 days later, just challenging them, hey, Josh, I sent you a home valuation as I've got a listing at 4555 Highwood. and I'm looking at the area really closely to support the value of my listing to make sure it gets sold. But as an added benefit, you get to find out how the biggest investment in your life is treating you. Please take a look at it. Let me know if it's garbage. If it is, I'll never send it again. I challenge people every time and kind of go from there. And I get a lot of traction from that. And then I start sending market updates, what's going on in the area. That's how I launch into the marketing there.
So, number one, HomeBot is wonderful. One of the reasons why I pivoted to using iList and now we're using Smarty's CRM is it accomplishes the same, but the cost, and I can do a whole bunch more, and I can do it all integrated. Right. So there's more than one way to slice it, but that's,
right.
For those that have been, on the last few weeks, we've talked about all of these different pieces, and I'm just kind of tying it all together for everyone, how we're using those things. So there's more than one way to achieve what Shay is describing, I guess, is the,
for sure.
Here, this might be, as you were talking here, I thought this might be pretty cool. Let me show everybody. Let's do a real world example of, well, first of all, it did finally download here. You can see this is pretty sweet. Look, their property. I mean, that is pretty cool. So last week while I was in Florida, I had an old expired reply to our automated follow-up that's happening with our Smarty Go High Level. We had Smarty on at the beginning of the month. You should go check that out. And you can check out the shortened demo, growwithjosh.com/Smarty-demo. growwithjosh.com/Smarty-demo. So he called last week and he said, hey, listen, I've been getting your texts. I love, he didn't say aggressive, but he said, it seems like, you're really on top of this marketing stuff. And this was an older expired, like it had expired years ago. And so we had a great conversation. He told me he even, he shared some of his frustrations with the realtor team. It was a husband and wife team that he was using, and how they, they really didn't, they weren't creatively problem solving and this, that, and the other thing. So we have an appointment. This was on Friday. And so I said, hey, I'll follow up with you early next week once I have some of the cash offer options that we can populate for you, and we can schedule a time for me to either pop by or hop on Zoom. And he said, I kind of would rather just start with a Zoom. So I said, that's totally fine. I followed up with him yesterday morning, and he said, I'm really busy this week, but let's schedule it for next week, right? So I don't know why I was sharing my screen there, because I could have just set that up here. So I was listening to something recently that was a great reminder that you should turn every appointment or every win into more wins, right? Find ways to turn every win into more wins. So this property and in this neighborhood, I would love to get more listings. So I'm not going to wait till I list it. Why don't I start marketing to that audience now that I have a tangible result with them? I have an appointment scheduled with that person, right? So what I did first, now I'll share my screen. What I did first is I went to PropStream and I built what I'm calling demographic circle prospecting. I don't know, whatever. But like, I didn't just grab the homes. I used several filtering criteria to get a more targeted list. So, the list is, where is it here? 192. There it is. So I built a list of 192. These were nearby, single family, 2-story with equity. Okay, nearby, single family, 2-story with equity. And I used the search criteria here. And so all I did was, I'll do this for my neighborhood because I think this is where it's got pulled up. I used the little draw function here, and I just drew a box. Okay, and then I hit search, and then I filtered. I said, I don't want on market. Okay, so not on market. Property characteristics, I want single family. I want a minimum, where's 2-story? Minimum 2 stories. And then I went ownership info. No, I went equity info, a minimum of 50% equity. Okay, so I've got 125 more targeted. Okay, more targeted. I went here, I added to list, I created new, I called this, in that case, I called it, 192 Blue Jay Way. Then I skip traced, which cost me a total of like $14. Okay, $14. And Mike cleaned it up, and we added the audience to our Go High Level here. And we launched a workflow to them this morning. The workflow is a text message, a ringless voicemail, and 2 emails. Mike, where Josh Mike workflows? Is that, I'm assuming? Yeah. DCP. You can see that 111 have kicked off. So we started with the text message. Hi, Shay, we're meeting with one of your neighbors later this week to review their home value and explore options. I didn't put selling options because that's a red flag word in selling is a red flag word in SMS. So just explore options. Well, what options? Well, we'll talk about it. Who do you know that might be interested in doing the same? Let me know, Josh. 3 minutes later, ringless voicemail. You might not be able to hear this super clear.
But Josh, a local realtor here with EXP, and I know this is kind of out of the blue, but we're meeting with a homeowner in your neighborhood later this week to review his equity position and some of the unique and exclusive selling options that we offer here in Central PA. And I was just curious if you or anyone else in the neighborhood might also be interested in getting an update to their home value and how much equity they've gained, and maybe even to explore some of those unique and exclusive selling options. If you wouldn't mind, let us know either way. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks.
So that goes out 3 minutes later. Then we've got an email, same message, just crafted in email style. Okay. First name, question mark, in parentheses, RE, and their address. This is a bit out of the blue, Shay, but we're meeting with one of your neighbors later this week to review his home value, equity position, and some of the unique and exclusive selling options we offer. Curious, who do you know in the neighborhood that might be interested in doing the same? If you could, please let us know either way. Thanks, Josh. And then 6 hours later, they get this email to make sure that they got the first email and get them to reply. Because if people reply, your emails have drastically improved deliverability, and then they'll start showing up in their primary inbox and not the promotions or the spam. Okay, so I don't have data on this yet because we literally just launched this, but my intent is that's just standard operating procedure now. Like we get, when we have an appointment, whether it's a Zoom or an in-person appointment, we're launching this because now I've got a list that I'm going to market to during this whole thing. So I'm going to send this out after we have the meeting. I'm going to send them a follow-up. When we're ready to go coming soon, I'm going to let them know before it even shows up coming soon in the MLS. Then when it's just listed, they're going to get direct mail from me and another communication by email, maybe even another ringless voicemail. When it goes pending, they're going to get that. When it goes just sold, they're going to get that. I'm creating an overwhelming amount of evidence that if or when they or someone they know in the neighborhood is thinking about selling, it's this guy that's going to get that opportunity. Carrie, go ahead.
Quick question with your email. When you send that initial email out, telling them all the fun stuff, if they respond to that email, will it trigger and go high level for that follow-up email not to go out? Because your follow-up
yes, it'll kill the yes. Yep. That's
okay.
one of the many, there's so many cool things that you can do with it.
Oh, I know. Go high level
thing.
is fantastic.
Yeah. And so the other thing that every one of the people that we're doing this with, they're going to get a monthly email similar to what Shay was describing with HomeBot that has it's monthly, it's themed, right? So like the one that went out this month was themed around Halloween. The one that goes out next month is themed around Thanksgiving. The one that goes out the following month is themed around Christmas. January is, New Year themed. February is Valentine's themed. March is St. Patty's themed. April is Easter themed. May is, I don't know, summer themed. I'm not really sure, but like they're automatically going to get those as well. And those get dripped out, and every one of those drives them to their interactive seller dashboard with iList. And every time they engage with that, I get notified. And not only that, another workflow triggers for them to see, what did you think about the value? Should we explore some of the selling options? Which of the 4 automated values do you think is the most accurate? And you know what we got to do is incorporate some of what Shay's saying, or are they all way off? Are they all totally trash? Let us know, whatever, right? Fernando, go ahead.
And those workflows you're creating in Go High Level, are those shareable, kind of like in KV Core? You have the share codes where you do a campaign.
That's the whole point of Smarty's setup.
Okay, so it is shareable?
Yeah, that's the whole point of what Smarty has built.
Okay.
And he and I continue to collaborate. So he has already taken our best performing text scripts, and there is now a workflow that you can load up all of your buyers, and once a month they will get one of our best performing text scripts. You don't have to do anything. And there's all these triggers, like if they already replied and you had an appointment or whatever, like, and they responded to the October blast, they won't get the November blast. Right? Like it's like I don't know. We're still pinching ourselves a little bit how cool the whole setup is. Now we're optimizing it, and it's not perfect because none of them are, but like, man, it's pretty impressive what he's built, and it's exciting for us to then be able to take. So I'll say this because I've told him his scripts not great, like his templates. But that's why I'm excited for us to be able to evolve his scripts and templates with what we know works best. What he is incredible at is the logic of how to build all of this stuff out, because I got no chance of figuring it out. Like he builds these workflows. So for example, the prop stream data, which by the way, some of you might be wondering, like we're not texting or ringless voicemail if they're on the DNC. Okay. So like, we're not doing that. Now, expireds and FSBOs, we will, because they're raising their hand, right? But a circle prospecting list, if they're on the DNC, they are not getting a call or text, at least at that number. But what Smarty has built, now this is a Go High Level feature, but Smarty is the one that like built out how to do it, is if the first number doesn't work, or if it's a landline, there's a workflow that will grab the next number and then try that later. Same thing with the email, because when you get data from PropStream, it's a bunch of emails. Well, Go High Level has an email verification process. And if they can't verify the email, or it's a bad email, it'll just grab the next one and try that the next time, right? So it's like, it's really next level.
I'm curious to know how, because I know you're transitioning out of KV Core, it sounds like. I'm curious to just see what that's like later on in a couple of weeks, because I am finding KV Core is becoming antiquated to some degree.
Yeah, absolutely. Open book here. So as we do that, we'll be more than happy to share.
Hey, Josh, can I answer a quick question for James?
Please do. Yeah.
James, you talked about PropWire. PropWire is free. It works. I like it. I think it just takes a couple extra steps. It takes me longer to get the information that I need in a format that I need it to be in. for a free option, it's really good. There's nothing wrong with it, and it's fully functional. I like PropStream a bit better just for the speed of use to get the list that I want segregated, downloaded, put into, KV Core, HomeBot, whatever I'm doing, and be able to move forward. But PropWire, I've had good experience with them as well. It runs off the same information. I just like PropStream a little bit more. And once I dial in, a process real quick where I can download or export the list and then put it into Excel, and I've got an Excel formula that will change it and move everything the way I need it to into HomeBot in a minute and into KV Core in like 2 minutes and spit it out so I can put that back in, makes it better for me. But PropWire is a perfectly functional and good program to use.
So I want to show one other. We got about 5 minutes left because we try and keep these to an hour so people can get out and implement. But circling back on one of the target audiences that Shay mentioned, this is the zip code that I live in. So I populated that. I'm going to choose. I'm going to clear all of this out. We're going to start fresh here. So this is all of. So I've got 7,500 properties in this zip code. I'm going to filter. I'm going to choose tired landlords. I'm going to choose not on the MLS. I'm going to choose ownership info. I just want the individuals. And you can choose, you can do whatever you want with this. Minimum number of properties owned, I'll choose 3, right? Because that means they have a primary residence and at least 2 investment properties. So that's 432. Shay, is there any other, or are there any other filters you might do with this?
There's a lot of filters that I do with this. I play with this constantly.
Okay.
Like right now, they just put in a foreclosure training, right? And I know that on a call, on a couple of calls going back over the last year, I said, guys, if you're not into foreclosures, it's meat grinder real estate.
When you're saying pre-foreclosure, right? Is that what you mean?
Pre-foreclosure.
Yeah.
Pre-foreclosure real estate sucks. It's terrible. It's meat grinder real estate. But if you want to help people that absolutely need your help, this is one. And if you want to find someone that will love you until the day you die, you help them out of a foreclosure. They will love on you. They will tell everybody. They will start fights with their family if they don't list with you. These people are going to love you till the day you die. So pre-foreclosure is a good one. There's a really good class that they're putting on. And if you take the class, they're going to give you a $25 marketing credit. So
who is that?
This is through PropStream.
PropStream is doing a pre-foreclosure class?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
And they'll give you $25. They'll give you $25 in marketing money just for taking it.
We'll dig up that info and put it with the replay of this. I had no idea.
Yeah, I really like going in. Like one thing that PropWire does really, really well, going back to James, is empty nesters, because they have one that's already pre-built for empty nesters. I do it in PropStream because it doesn't take that long, just looking up age by the same demographics. I have a lot of good, success with empty nesters, VA, tired landlords. I really don't like doing divorce stuff, but I have flippers. I've found a ton of people looking to flip properties. I was looking at VA, last week and ended up getting 2 flippers, and we've got one under contract for one of these flippers, and one we just wrote an offer and we should hear back by 5:00 today. So it's just something that I play with a lot. And if you stay consistent on something, you'll fall backwards into some sort of success accidentally. And it's just good to keep marketing to different people and have it be very close to the heart, for them. So you can market directly to people in their in their situation in life. And that's where I find the most success. And once I get you on the phone, you're dead. If you're dumb enough to let me get you on the phone, you're going to write me a contract. That's just what it is.
I don't know that that's the right analogy.
It's true.
If you get
It's
Shay on the phone,
If I
you're
get you on
in
the
luck.
phone,
You're in luck when you get Shay on the phone because he's going to help and serve you. You're not dead.
Well, sure, but that's
not
what they see. But in my head, you're a dead man. You walked into the wrong fight.
I just hunted you down. All right, so listen, we're at an hour, and there was a lot of there was a lot thrown at you here. Okay, so here would be my recommendation to you all: pick 1, 2, or 3 ideas, and figure out how to implement those in the next 3 days. Maybe this afternoon, maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday is your day to work on the business.
Just do it today.
Don't try and implement everything, but pick 1, 2, or 3 things that really resonated with you and implement those. Mike has already dropped in the chat the new Academy course, which I'm going to have to check out myself. I didn't even know. I didn't know about that. We'll get that with the replay as well. We will reschedule Scott. We're not going to do that next week because I already threw out there. Next week, I'm going to show you how we're generating free leads with Marketplace and the tweak that I've made literally yesterday morning or Monday morning that is getting me now inbound phone calls from Marketplace. They are picking up the phone and calling me from Marketplace. I'll share the exact listings, how we create them, and all of that. Fernando, I never answered your question. That 100% conventional is in all 50 states. Now, we're not licensed in New York or Massachusetts. We, as in NEXA Mortgage, but it's not a state specific program per se. So that's what we got next week. The replay of this will be available immediately after. We add it to wakeup.real estate under the mastermind replays. They're also available immediately after in the Wake Up Real Estate group. Terry, thanks so much for sharing. Shay, thanks so much for sharing. Fernando, appreciate your questions and interactions. And hope to see everybody here again next week. Show you how to generate some free leads and clients with Facebook Marketplace. Take care, all.
See you guys.
See ya.